Let us now see the rendering and view options, or the settings related to rendering and viewing display. In each of the in each of the location or entity dialog box, we have a rendering tab and a view tab. So under rendering tab, we have rendering options, that is transparency, draw mode, that is shading, face culling, lighting, and specular. We also have show mesh line and apply texture options. So draw face shows a solid surface. Draw line shows a mesh edge or intersection lines between the meshes when we display the location or entity. And transparency, lighting, texture give the feel of real equipment or real material. After that, in the views section, we have different type of operations like apply translation, rotation to the view, only the view. So it is rotated by angle, it is translated along a direction. So we can also pick a different instance transform in the views section. In the main outline, there is another tab called as variables. So we are going to see what is variables now. Variables show derived geometric solution, user defined, and turbo variables. So among that, we have different variables, standard variables like pressure, aspect ratio, Courant number, density, velocity, all these appear here. Also, we can create user defined variables by using the standard variables. Whenever we click on any variable, its detailed panel opens up and it shows relevant information on the selected variable. So for pressure, it is showing units, whether the boundary data is hybrid or conservative, it is showing that. The minimum and maximum value of pressure in the domain, it is showing that. And we can create new variables by expression, and that is another feature that this particular variable tab provides. So let us take an example of a variable that we want to create now. The goal is to plot an isosurface of velocity ratio 0.7. So we define velocity ratio as the local velocity upon velocity bar, that is average velocity. So wherever this ratio, that is local velocity upon the average velocity, is 0.7, we want to create a plane out of those points or those surface elements. So first thing that we do is create an expression. We click on expression icon and we name the expression as velocity ratio. So what we do is we go to the expression or variables tab, we click on new, we name the variable as velocity ratio, and when the detailed section of the variable opens up, here we will select the method as expression, and the expression is velocity ratio, and we will input this expression in that particular section. After that, we create isosurface. For creating isosurface, we go to isosurface icon, click on when we click on isosurface icon in the geometry tab, we select the variable as the variable that we have created, which is the velocity ratio variable, and then once we click on create the isosurface, it will join all the points having this ratio as 0.7. Now the next option that we are going to see is how to generate qualitative data. Several different objects can be created to help visualize CFD results. We can create a location, view a variable on it, and also we can color contours by other variable as well, or path lines by other variables as well. So coloring by variable values can be according to global or local range. So when we select by the color, the option is whether we want to use a global range, local range, or user specified range. Example of a velocity contour is shown here. Different qualitative post-processing objects are there. We will see one by one. All these are located in this tab of the post-processing. First, the vector. Vectors are nothing but vector plots as shown here. Next is contours. These are the velocity vectors. Next is contours. Contours are contour lines and they are filled. We can click on this icon. Then the next is streamline. Streamline are the streamline plots which can be viewed. These are massless path lines or streamlines. Then the next is particle track. When we are solving particulate flow, we can view particle track as well. That is the mass, particles having mass, the flow of that carried along with the flow. Also we have other objects like frame, text, coordinate frame, legends, and instance transform. So what does text mean? Text means we can attach a text with the plot or display that or the contour or post-processing object that we have created as shown here when we click on this icon. Coordinate frame is we can view the coordinate frame along with the display of post-processing object. Legends, we can change the settings of this legends, or we can view this legends along with the plot that we have created or the post-processing result that we have created. Instant transform means we can actually transform some part of the view that we have created separately to show the details of it. Next, how to generate quantitative data. Till now we have seen how to generate qualitative data, which is plots, contours, path lines, vectors. Now we will see how to generate values or quantitative data. The best option to generate quantitative data is the tables option. Tables allow you to display data and expression in tabular view. They are typical spreadsheet from like Excel, and tables have the ability to evaluate and display expressions and update those rapidly as we change the expression type or expression definition. The quickest option is to go to insert tables. So when we insert table, a table format is created as shown here. In this, we can select different entities like function, expression, variables, location, constants, and using this we can define one variable or one expression and its values are plotted in Excel format. So what it shows is directly force, its value is here. Using these expressions we can form its value, and we can go on creating other quantities like torque, average velocity, lift, force, any expressions that we want. They are displayed in tabular format. We can use these expressions, define new expressions, and go on creating whatever data, quantitative data that we want to extract. So this is the best way to create quantitative data or extract quantitative data from the results, that is tables. What is the process of creating table? First, go to create table, then create text cells. After that, create expression cells. Then we can use different drop-down menus to assist expression creations in order to define our expression. Other than table also, there are many other quantitative data objects. Among them, the first is charts. Charts plot a relationship between two variables along a line or curve. The points on the charts are not necessarily evenly spaced. They depend on the mesh also. Multiple lines can be plotted on a single chart. For creating chart, you have to go to insert charts. This is an example of a chart that is shown here, and the chart is pressure versus Z coordinate. How to create chart? When we click on insert charts, this is the chart dialog box that opens up. In that, first we have general, then we have data series, x-axis, y-axis definition, line display properties, and chart display properties. So in the data series, we can select what type of variable data that we want on the x and y coordinates. In the x-axis and y-axis definition, we can select the variables that we want to plot. We can also plot a chart against time for transient runs by switching to type as time. So when we click on charts in general section, instead of XY, say XY transient or sequence. So automatically the x-axis is now transient or time variable. Now whenever we have a transient simulation, we have to create variables or charts or plots of plots or charts of variables versus time. So for that, we can select the second option in the charts general section, which is charts transient or sequence. So when we select that, what happens is that the data series is selected and automatically the x-axis becomes time.